Hey everyone, it's iWuShock with another video on my information series. Today is Tier 3 familiars. Again, I'm not going to be going over every single familiar, but more so just the ones you might want to keep an eye on when you're in that tier or if you're just going to camp in it. I'm also only going to mention ones that can be obtained from within that tier. So for example, Penguita has familiars that are used in Tier 1, but you can't actually get them until much later, so they're not even going to be mentioned until then. With that being said, this is a much shorter video than normal because Tier 3 just doesn't have that many familiars that you want to go for aside from future farming. If you missed my video on Tiers 1 and 2, check it out up in the above corner, as those familiars will carry you through this tier as well. I also went over what augments and stables are in that video, so you'll want to check it out for that reason. Without further ado, let's jump right into the familiars found in Tier 3, aka the Lake Haven Zone and the beginning of World Boss. First off is Quirk. Quirk uses Gak and Quirl to make quite the entry-level DPS. If you're camping in Tier 3, he's going to be the absolute best DPS you can get. He's got damage closest, damage target, and a 45% chance to critical. It makes him super dangerous. Critical chance is one of those bonuses that you just cannot get through augments, so his ceiling is actually higher than if he had dual strike or empower on him, because you can dual strike, empower, and crit all on the same attack. He's also part of a later fusion named Korgs that's useful in low tier PvP, so you won't entirely waste him if you make him. However, do keep in mind that starting about 13 tiers from now, considered the best DPS familiar uses Quirl as well, so you might want to hold off on using him and go for a different fusion. That fusion might be Nosedoo. He's a really decent option as well if you end up with the parts. Nosedoo and Braum come together to make a damage and rage tank for you. So remember that damage and rage makes your next attack or heal stronger, so as he gets hit, he gets stronger for his next attack. His sustain isn't super high, so you will need to use a brain on him, but he's super useful, and he goes into a top tier tank later on. Finally, we come to Gem, a DPS familiar using Jeb and Gem, which can spike critical hits like no one's business. 225% critical damage instead of 150% means that when you do hit a critical, it's even stronger than an empowered hit. This can nuke bosses and fully heal you on heal skills. He's also used in a future fusion, so making him is really useful in that respect as well. The future fusions for both Gem and Nosedoo are a bit controversial, so be on the lookout for those videos that'll include why you might want them and exactly where to get them. Also in Tier 3, you're opening up World Boss. You start with Orlag Clan and Netherworld. These both have fairly strong familiars in them, however, both of them require familiars that are beyond Tier 3. So you might think, well, I don't want to worry about it. But you want to go ahead and farm these because all of their fusions have materials you're going to need that drop about 1 in every 20 runs, and they're not affected by item find, so the only way to grind them is to just run more. The more that you run in your regeneration, or if you just want to run earlier on, the better for you. You're going to get the Hobbit feet from World Boss and the Demon Juice from Netherworld. Both of them go into fusions. Once I get to tiers where you can get them, I'll go over them. Fusions such as Drazig, Omo, Velk, and Wacom. So that's all that we have for Tier 3. There's not very many fusions, and most are really only useful for future farming. I kind of consider Tier 3 that middle tier where your goal is to set yourself up for later success instead of immediate success. Is there a familiar you think I skipped over that should have been included? Which ones are your favorites? Let me know in the comments below, and good luck on your grind for the absolute best familiars in Tier 3.